real quick because I'm going into a grocery store to get turmeric because I forgot it at the produce market. The more I learn and the more I become aware of the world, the more traditional I become, the more conservative I become. I don't know why. Because you would think that's the whole thing now, like when you learn more, like we've come so far, like we're overcoming, like women's empowerment, gay rights, like all this shit. Like, I'm not saying just those things, but those are the things that came right to my mind. But even like the way we treat sex as a society, or food, or religion, or whatever, the more I learn about like the way the world works and how the human body works and the human mind works and our spirit, it's almost like I'm open-minded, but then I'm closed-minded. Like, I don't know, like I'm open to any idea, right? Like I'll consider it, I'll think about it, I'll research into it more. But then once I know, or I believe I know, or whatever, the more unwilling I am to change that opinion. So, I just got hit. So I think that would be a take that's not gonna be super popular. I mean, they say if you're not liberal when you're young, like you're psycho or something, like you have no heart. If you're not a liberal when you're young, you have no heart, and then if you're not a conservative when you're old, like you're dumb. Yeah, basically, I think that's the quote. So it goes in the idea of the longer you live and the more you learn, the more you see the need for structure and containment and all these things. See it with children today. You see how scared parents are to tell their kids no, or to not let them do something, or either that or they become, on the other side, super controlling, and they don't let them do anything. Or, like, you see really one of the two. And what happens when you don't set the boundaries and you never you never tell your kids no? They don't have those boundaries and become insane people. Like, look at Saddam Hussein's sons. I think it's Joe Rogan. I saw this from. He was saying the oldest one or something would kidnap wives or brides on their wedding day and do who knows what with them when they were alive, but then kill them, chop them up, and feed them to dogs, just because he could, right? So then on the other side, what happens when there's too much boundaries, right? Too much containment, too much control. A kid becomes scared to do anything. They're scared to think about, or to act, to experience, because that's not comfortable for them. What's comfortable for them is being controlled. At least for a while. I mean, usually there's some sort of rebellion that takes place in their soul and their relationship, whatever. But yeah, I do believe we will see a reemergence of traditional values. Especially, I'm 24. I especially believe, maybe I'm too optimistic, but I especially believe that my generation will return to traditional values. I 100% believe that, actually, because I don't usually go out to bars, but if there's a birthday party or a friend or something, I'll go out of my way and attend and just, show solidarity or whatever. We go out, and this is the same story every time we go out. You go out, and it's what? Average at best, maybe. You look around, and people aren't even really having. You could be having a good time or whatever, but you're gonna look around and see people who like wish they were somewhere else or whatever, and aren't really into it. And I guess my point being is, people put themselves in these situations because they think that's what they're supposed to do. You think because you're young, you're supposed to be out drinking, having sex with somebody you find or whatever you find attractive, and then boom, that's a good night. But I think you're especially starting to see it with the ladies that's not fulfilling for them. Yeah, it's fun for a while. The pleasure's fun, especially when you have no purpose. Like, what's the alternative, right? Just pleasure, 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 pleasure. But it's not meaningful. It's nothing. It doesn't mean anything. Unless your life is that wound up and you're that stressed out, and yes, once, twice a week, going out, getting drunk, just dancing, having fun, that can be beneficial. There's benefits to that. But when that's your default, that's just sad. Because I've been there. I've drank, I've done drugs, I've done all this. And when I do return to drugs occasionally, I have it in my mind. I already know that it's only fun for between 2 weeks and 2 months. That's like usually the broad range. Sometimes it could be longer, sometimes it could be shorter or whatever, but it's temporary pleasure. So with anything that's temporary, like, it doesn't last. It's just the temporary results. And the only way to keep that lifestyle is basically lying to yourself that this is what you enjoy and this is what you want to do and this is what all your friends are doing. So this is what you want to fit in. And it can work for a while, but not forever. So that's why I'm optimistic for the younger generations, because we do have the internet. We are aware of the internet. We do use the internet heavily. So hopefully, messages like this and whatnot, I don't know, it just means something. Who knows? It's all about raising the awareness, raising your consciousness. I said yes last night that your viewpoints of the world are confessions or something like that of your inner world. And that's true. I think a lot of people just see life as just pleasure. Like, we're not here for a long time, here for a good time. And I don't know. There's more to life than just that. So I guess if you're watching this and you just think life's just this, life's just that, you're wrong. Unless you're some fucking guy that knows it all. It's not just it's not just sex, it's not just the pleasure, it's not just suffering, it's not just family or friends or work or whatever. It's only that if that's what you make it. So life is what you make it. So make life as much as you can be. Carry the heaviest cross you can carry. Shout out Jesus. I'll leave it at that. Let's get it. Have a good day. It's beautiful. Let's go.